Okay, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good evening, good afternoon from wherever you are in the world. Today, I want us to look at the concept of poverty, that's the cause, solutions, as per the Papal Encyclicals and the Vatican II documents. And from this aspect, we look at the Papal Encyclicals and Vatican II documents, which addresses poverty as a moral and social issue rooted in injustices, inequalities, and lack of solidarity. Here is the breakdown of their perspectives on the meaning, the causes, solutions, and also what are we supposed to do as Africans, as the world as a whole, so that we combat the issue of poverty. Now, from the meaning, we look at from the Catholic perspectives or the church perspective, poverty is not just a material deprivation, but also includes spiritual, moral, and social dimensions. And these encyclicals and Vatican II highlights as follows. One, poverty as a material, from the material perspective, which is lack of basic needs such as food, shelter, and healthcare systems. Then we have the spiritual poverty, which is a loss of meaning, dignity, and human connections. Finally, we look at the voluntary poverty, whereby it is inspired by Christ himself, whereby some embrace simplicity to focus on God and service to others. That's from the voluntary perspective of poverty. You choose to be. And therefore, the key sources of poverty, according to William Space's Vatican II document, calls poverty as an affront to human dignity and violation of social justice. When it comes to social justice, we look at the aspect of how we treat others and how we use our power to run the development agendas in our nations, in our the political sphere, the church aspects, and any social setup. So we look at the social justice systems. Is there fairness? Is there trustworthiness? Does people trust the systems in terms of justice? Are the systems just, or they are well corrupted so that they just manipulate issues accordingly? Then we have from the Pope John Paul II document in 1987, it distinguishes between poverty caused by structural injustices and Christian values or voluntary poverty. So when you read this document, you will find that we have the element, now the difference between what you choose to do and what is brought about by injustices. Then we have the second cause of poverty from the Papal teachings and Vatican II identify sin and systemic injustice as the root cause to poverty. And in this context, we look at the structural and economic causes. And here from the structural and economic causes, we look at the unjust economic systems, the capitalism without moral responsibility, which leads to exploitation. And this one you will get in room Novarum, which is a document by Pope Leo the 8th in 1891. That document highlights how capitalism leads to poverty in our societies. Then we have the unfair wages and poor working conditions. The denial of workers' rights creates poverty. This one you will get in a document done by Pope John Paul II of 1981 as well. And again, under the same we have the moral social causes, so moral and social causes that we look at this aspect of poverty as caused by greed and consumerism. Unchecked materialism widen the wealth gap. You are in a position as a leader. The way you acquire the resources, you are violating other people's rights. Your resources is out of corruption. The way you grabbing and land grabbing and doing other things minus. Nobody can check the authenticity of your wealth, and that leads to violation of other people's rights to acquire and have access to meaningful, well-lived life. So, as a society, we have to come out clearly and address our issues accordingly. Again, we have the issue of under the moral and social cause, we have corruption and wars. This devastates economies and destroys livelihood. And corruption, I've touched on it. I can't repeat myself, but let's look at the aspect of wars. Why are we having wars in Africa today? And why are we fighting ourselves? Many of the wars in Africa and any other developing country is not just brought about by the... So we look at wars not just because countries in Africa or developing countries are not in wars by their own as their design. Those wars in developing countries are being facilitated by the developed countries. Why? They want to continue manifesting their powers by being the overseers of the development agendas in our they want to continue being the overseers of everything in the developing countries, and therefore we have to wake up. These are waking up call that all African states, all states that are developing, we should just look for the amicable way of dealing with our issues other than involving the external, the political aspect whereby they affect everything in the development agenda in our regions. When you look at the issues around African states, the likes of Southern Sudan, Congo, is just because they have everything, they have the resources. And why do they have the wars? It's just because the developed countries doesn't want to see these countries now coming up strongly and building their economies. And therefore, that's one of the key things that is causing a lot of poverty in Africa. We don't lack everything. Africa has everything. Yeah, Africa has everything. We don't lack anything. But what we lack is having that capacity to build our states and come up strongly to defend our rights and work harmoniously towards widening our economies. And therefore, the issue of unjust economic system is the one that will come along with the corruption and wars, and therefore we must just shy away. We must just run away from the wars in Africa. Just ask yourself a question: why should a state import weapons to fight their own people? Does it even make sense? No. Therefore, we have a long way to go as Africa, as the people who are growing. Therefore, we have to come out strongly, say no to wars, say no to social injustices, and concentrate on the development agenda. Yeah, and concentrate on the development agenda. Also, I call upon all state managers, all the political class in Africa, and all other developing states to gang up and fight what we call social injustice systems. We have another issue here, which is lack of solidarity. We don't have that urge of encouraging. We don't encourage palaver systems, whereby we have to come out, to come together and talk as a unit, so that we have one direction, we take one trajectory that will change our states, the way we deal with issues. What are you supposed to do as an African? Love your own friend, love your brother, love your country. Then from there, even when you are a leader and you love your country, you won't steal. When you love your people, you are so much compassionate. You take care of the state systems, and you work towards improving them, but not killing them. But when you come into power and you don't have the mindset of changing, then you are coming there to steal and continue dominating over the poor. So we look at we have another issue here, that this issue of lack of solidarity will Fratelli Tutti is a document written by Pope Francis in 2020 and the Laudato Si. Those are the two documents that will drive you towards seeing what I'm talking about when it comes to lack of solidarity and the synodality. Synodality and solidarity is one thing whereby we work together towards achieving a certain goal. So we have to come out clearly and address the issues affecting our states from wherever we are. Then we have the solution to poverty. There's as a church, as a member of the church, as a member of the clergy, we advocate for both charity and justice to combat poverty. And in this case, we have the social justice and structural change, whereby just wages and labor rights observation will empower the employees or the workers to come out clearly and as well develop their own mechanisms of survival. And this one you will as well check on the document Rerum Novarum, which is a document that is a papal document, as well as in the Encyclicals. Then we have the equitable economic system, whereby the economy must serve the people, not the other way around. And we, in many states, the economy serve the cronies to the head of state, but not the real person. And therefore, we advocate for change, and change will start by me and you electing or elevating people to the positions of power, people who have the mindset of changing the society, other than having people who will come and kill our economies. Again, on the same thing, we have the on equitable economic systems. We have look at St. Dismas announced by the Pope John Paul II in 1991. That's a document that contains the equitable economic systems. Then we have the debt relief for poor nations. These are the developing states are just struggling to pay their debts. This is common everywhere, but now we call upon the superpower nations, developed countries and other international bodies to have the debt reliefs, so that we enable other countries to develop, and maybe we save our people from the cadres of poverty. Then we have personal and communal responsibility is another element that will help us deal with the issue of poverty accordingly. And in this case, we look at the preferential option for the poor. The society must prioritize the needs of the poor. And this one, you can as well, you will all get this through the Papal Encyclicals and from the Laudato Si document written by the Pope Francis. Again, we have the charity and solidarity, whereby as Christians, as people from different states, when we come together and work harmoniously, we change the society and work towards success. Again, we have another issue on stewardship of resources. When you are a leader, you are a steward. Take care of the people resources. Don't misuse. Don't mistreat people because you are in power. Be a steward, a good steward, whereby you serve the interest of the people, but not your own interest. It is obvious that when you get into power, you have your own vested interest, but as a human being, let's embrace that solidarity, let's embrace care for the poor and serving the needs of the people. And this one, you will get it in the Laudato Si document by Pope Francis in 2015. We have now to the article. These articles discusses everything. All the articles I've just mentioned discusses everything. And when we adhere to all this as Africans, we are going to live a better life. We are going to change our societies. We are going to serve the interests of the people. And by so doing, I think we're going to have a better Africa. We're going to have the better world, whereby none of the human races feels like they are being marginalized by the state. So finally, when you look around the world today, what we are lacking is perceptual change, and that perceptual change will start by you and me changing the mindset. So you should not allow yourself to be called a marginalized person. Who is a marginalized person? Is a person who doesn't reason beyond the horizons. So you have the capacity to reason, you have the capacity to work on your own affairs. You have everything that you require. What you need is to change the perception. And the moment you change the perception and the way you view things, definitely things will change. We don't have to fight as Africans. We don't have to fight as people of God. Remember, we were all created in the image and likeness of God, and therefore we are one. The issue of racial aspects, why should it be there? I'm a black man, but when you cut my skin, the blood is red, just like yours. So we are one people. Let's work together harmoniously for change. My people from Africa, stop fighting your own people. Stop killing each other. Just because you are being facilitated by the other state who doesn't want to see so and so. The geopolitics should not divide the African states. Interference by the political spheres, the international systems, into our election systems that bring about the wars we are witnessing today is not okay. When I see fellow Africans suffering, I don't feel good. And therefore, we have the capacity to change. Change is me and you. Saying no to all system of injustices. Let's arise and change our societies. So as you watch this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Boniface Malwa TV. Facebook page, Boniface Omara TV. Subscribe, follow, like, and share. Let this content go viral. I'm a digital missionary and I must work towards change. I will never sleep. Just like Saint Augustine said, my heart will never rest until it rests in the hands of the Lord. I'm on a mission, and the mission must be accomplished. It is me and you. Let's change.